Guido, hello, welcome. Why is the Tomorrow is Today campaign so important?
We are living in a world where technologies are evolving at an exponential speed. This new world is creating a lot of threats, but also tremendous opportunities to companies willing to look for them. And we want to bring as Deloitte a very positive message to the entrepreneurs and to the leaders of businesses that if they grab on those opportunities, they can create new companies, new businesses and new wealth to the Belgian economy.
Okay, so it creates threats. What kind of threats? Can you give us an example?
The biggest worry for a company and the biggest threat which is out there is that you get disrupted and that you would be out of business. A good example of that is Kodak, and what happened to them, they were the first to have the patent on the digital camera, but finally they didn't use and exploit it and they disappeared. Another threat to Deloitte itself is that we've got plenty of auditors. And imagine that the auditors would be replaced by computers in future and we would no longer have work for them.
But luckily it also creates a lot of opportunities.
There's lots of opportunities out there for new companies to be created. It's what they call the kid in the garage who can create a new company.
Yes.
Let me take Snapchat. You heard about Snapchat?
Yes, where you can take a picture and 5 seconds later it disappears forever.
Exactly.
Right?
Sounds like a stupid idea for people from my generation, but they got an offer from Google a couple of months ago, $3 billion for a company of a couple of years old.
Which is nice.
Which is great.
Yeah.
But they said, we won't take it. We believe our company is worth much more. And currently they are valued at roughly $20 billion.
Wow.
Now another thing is, are there some startups out there in Belgium? One example, Camper, is a startup helped by the Telenet ID Labs and also helped by Deloitte. And what they're doing is they want to be kind of an Airbnb for tents in your garden, whereby you house people in your garden and they can use your toilet and they can use your bathroom, and they set up a whole system around it like Airbnb. So perhaps we'll be here in a couple of years and talk about Camper being the new Snapchat. So it is possible.
And how can companies prepare themselves?
There's many elements which are important in preparing themselves. So we've got a couple of advices to companies. The first of them is being aware of what is out there. The second is to explore and experiment. Once you've done that, is to scale fast. And then a final one is to work with starters, to team up with starters.
Can you give an example?
Deloitte, for example, has concluded a global partnership with Singularity University. They are located in Silicon Valley. They have been created by Google and have a partnership with NASA. And actually what they're doing is they're educating people on the impact of exponential technologies. And also they have also a humanitarian objective, is to see how those exponential technologies can address the challenges of humanity, like, for example, poverty. So we get our knowledge about those exponential technologies at Singularity University.
Other examples, exploring, for example?
At Deloitte, we have set up a lab, and that's something we see also at other companies, a lab whereby you put all those exponential technologies, you can try them out, have a drone, have a 3D printer, have a look at it, see what it does, just explore and experiment.
Is it easy for companies to do that?
Certainly not easy, but one of the big challenges is how, once you have a good idea, how to scale it fast. But I think it requires some guts. It's not usually what we are in Belgium used to, but take Uber, they just did it. Everybody knows them, they're out there, they don't care about regulations, and they're getting to be a big company.
Yeah. You've talked about partnerships. Can you give us some other examples?
Yeah, in my view, it is extremely important to work with starters. And the best ideas you don't find within big companies, you find them within starters. So we created our own innovation center around digital analytics and cyber. The teams also of our Tomorrow is Today campaign, whereby we're going to help starters to go to the Champions League. Telenet ID Labs, which is more in the ideation and incubation phase, they created their venturing program, whereby they are helping people willing to create a business, having an idea, not knowing how to create a company, and hopefully becoming, like Camper, one of their starters, world leaders of tomorrow.
Okay. Guido, thank you so much for this interesting conversation.
You're very welcome.